We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
As today we are going to discuss about the special concretes. In my previous lecture, we have already discussed about lightweight concrete, high density and adhesion shielding concrete, roller compacted concrete. In today's lecture, we are going to cover fiber reinforced concrete and self compacting concrete. So at first, we will discuss about the fiber reinforced concrete. Kindly focus on that. Plain concrete possesses a very low tensile strength, limited ductility, and little resistance to cracking. Internal microcracks are inherently present in the concrete, and its poor tensile strength is due to the propagation of such microcracks, eventually leading to brittle fracture of the concrete. In the past, attempts have been made to impart improvement in tensile properties of concrete members by way of using conventional reinforced steel bar and also by applying restraining techniques. Although both these methods provide tensile strength to the concrete members, they however do not increase the inherent tensile strength of concrete itself. In a plain concrete and similar brittle material, structural cracks, we can see micro crack, develop in before loading, particularly due to drying shrinkage or other causes of volume change. When loaded, the micro crack propagate and open up, and owing the effect of stress concentration, additional cracks form in places of minor defects. The structural crack proceeds slowly or by teeny jumps because they are retarded by various obstacles, changes of direction in bypassing the more resistant grains in matrix. The development of such microcracks is the main cause of inelastic deformation in concrete, which is very important. It has been recognized that the addition of small, closely spaced, and uniformly dispersed fibers to concrete would act as crack arrestor and would substantially improve its static and dynamic properties too. This type of concrete is known as fiber reinforced concrete. Again, focus over here. It has been recognized that the addition of small, closely spaced and uniformly dispersed fiber to concrete would act as crack arrestor and would substantially improve its static and dynamic properties. This type of concrete is known as fiber reinforced concrete. Generally, we can say FRs. Fiber reinforced concrete can be defined as a composite material consisting of mixture of cement, mortar or concrete and discontinuous, discrete, uniformly dispersed, suitable fibers. Continuous meshes, woven fabrics and long wires or rod are not considered to be discrete fibers, that we have to keep in mind. Now, although every type of fiber has been tried out in cement and concrete, not all of them can be effectively and economically used. Each type of fiber has its characteristic properties and limitations. Some of the fibers that could be used are steel fiber, polypropylene fiber, nylon fiber, asbestos fiber, cord, glass, carbon and many more. Fiber is a small piece of reinforcing material possessing certain characteristic properties. There are also like natural fiber, hybrid fiber are also there. But fiber is a small piece of reinforcing material possessing certain characteristic properties. They can be circular or flat. The fiber is often described by a convenient parameter called aspect ratio. The aspect ratio of the fiber is the ratio of its length to its diameter. Typical aspect ratio ranges from 30 to 150. Steel fiber is one of the most commonly used fiber. Generally round fibers are used. The diameter may vary from 0.25 to 0.75 mm, that we have to remember. The steel fiber is likely to get rusted and lose some of its strength, but investigations have shown that the rusting of the fibers takes place only at the surface. Use of steel fiber makes significant improvement in flexural, impact and fatigue strength of concrete. It has been extensively used in various types of structure, particularly for overlay of road, airfield pavement and bridge deck. There is also carbon fiber which is used in airport field to make the pavement. Thin shells and plates have also been constructed using steel fibers. Polypropylene and nylon fiber are found to be suitable to increase the impact strength. Means suddenly some load is struck from some certain heights or some certain distance. They possess very high tensile strength, but their low modulus of elasticity and higher elongation do not contribute to the flexural strength. Asbestos is a mineral fiber and has proved to be most successful of all fibers as it can be mixed with Portland cement. Tensile strength of asbestos varies between 560 to 980 Newton per mm square. The composite product called asbestos cement has considerably higher flexural strength than the Portland cement paste. For unimportant fiber concrete, organic fiber like core, jute, can splits are also used. Glass fiber is a recent introduction in making fiber concrete. It has a very high tensile strength 1020 to 4080 Newton per mm square. Glass fiber, which is originally used in conjunction with cement, was found to be affected by alkaline condition of cement. Therefore, alkali resistant glass fiber by trade name same field has been developed and used. The alkali resistant fiber reinforced concrete shows considerable improvement in durability when compared to the conventional e-glass fiber. Carbon fibers perhaps possesses very high tensile strength 2110 to 2815 Newton per mm square and Young modulus. It has been reported that cement composite made with carbon fiber as reinforcement will have very high modulus of elasticity and flexural strength. The limited study have shown good durability. The use of carbon fibers for structure like cladding, panels and shells will have promising future. Now, what are the factors affect on the properties of FRC? So, factors affecting properties of fiber reinforced concrete. Under that, fiber reinforced concrete is the composite material containing fibers in the cement matrix in an orderly manner or randomly distributed manner. Its properties would obviously depend upon the efficient transfer of stress between matrix and the fibers, which is largely dependent on the type of fiber, fiber geometry, fiber content, orientation and distribution of the fiber, mixing and compaction technique of concrete and size and shape of the aggregate. These factors are briefly discussed in next slides. So first one is relative fiber matrix stiffness. So in that we will discuss the modulus of elasticity of matrix must be much lower than that of fiber for efficient stress transfer. Low modulus of fibers such as nylons and polypropylene are therefore unlikely to give strength improvement, but they help in the absorption of large energy and therefore impart greater degree of toughness and resistance to impact. High modulus fibers such as steel, glass and carbon impart strength and stiffness to the composites. Now second, volume of fiber. So the strength of the composite largely depends on the quantity of fibers used in it. The increase in the volume of fibers increase approximately linearly the tensile strength and toughness of the composite. Use of higher percentage of fiber is likely to cause segregation and harshness of concrete and mortar. Now, third point, it is a very important aspect ratio of the fibers. So, table is given here, but before discussing that table, we will go for some theoretical part. So, another important factor which influence the properties and behavior of the composite is the aspect ratio of the fiber. It has been reported that up to aspect ratio of 75, increase in the aspect ratio increases the ultimate strength of concrete linearly. Beyond 75, relative strength and toughness is reduced. Table shows the effect of aspect ratio on strength and toughness. So now we can go with that table. So here type of concrete is mentioned, aspect ratio is given, relative strength is given and relative toughness is given. So if a plain concrete with randomly dispersed fibers we will consider, then aspect ratio is 0, then relative strength will be 1 and relative stiffness will be 1. If aspect ratio will be 25, then relative strength is 1.50 and relative toughness is 2. If aspect ratio is 50, then relative strength is 1.60 and relative toughness is 8. For plain concrete with randomly dispersed fiber, if aspect ratio is 75, then relative strength is 1.70 and relative toughness is 10.5. And for aspect ratio being 100, then relative strength will be 1.50 and relative toughness will be 8.5. Now, if we will discuss about the orientation of fibers, then one of the difference between conventional reinforcement and fiber reinforcement is that in conventional reinforcement, bars are oriented in the direction desired, while fibers are randomly oriented, right? To see the effect of randomness, mortar specimen reinforced with 0.5% volume of fiber were tested. In one set specimen, fibers were aligned in the direction of the load, in another in the direction perpendicular to that of the load, and in the third randomly distributed. It was observed that the fibers aligned parallel to the applied load offered more tensile strength and toughness than randomly distributed or perpendicular fibers. Now fifth one important point, workability and compaction of concrete in the regard of FRC means fiber reinforced concrete. So incorporation of a steel fiber decreases the workability considerably. This situation adversely affects the consolidation of fresh mix. Even prolonged external vibration fails to compact the concrete. The fiber volume at which this situation is reached depend on the length and diameter of the fiber. Another consequence of poor workability is non-distribution of the fiber, non-uniform distribution of the fiber. Generally, the workability and compaction standard of the mix is improved through increased water or water by cement ratio or by the use of some kind of water reducing admixture. Now, in FRC, size of coarse aggregate is also important. So, several investigators recommended that the maximum size of the coarse aggregate should be restricted to 10 mm. to avoid appreciable reduction in strength of the composite. Fibers also in effect act as an aggregate. Although they have a simple geometry, their influence on the properties of fresh concrete is very complex. The interparticle friction between fibers and between fibers and aggregate controls the orientation and distribution of the fibers and consequently the properties of the composite. Friction reducing admixture and admixtures that improve the cohesiveness of the mix can significantly improve the mix. Now mixing is also important in FRC because uniform distribution should be there. So mixing of fiber reinforced concrete needs careful conditions to avoid walling of fibers, segregation and in general the difficulty of mixing the material uniformly. Increase in the aspect ratio, volume percentage and size and quantity of coarse aggregate intensify the difficulties and walling tendencies. A steel fiber contains in excess of 2% by volume and an aspect ratio of more than 100 are difficult to mix. Now, what are the applications of that FRC? So based on its attractive characteristic, fiber reinforced concrete is increasingly used on account of the advantage of increased static and dynamic tensile strength, energy absorbing characteristic and better fatigue strength. The uniform dispersion of fibers throughout the concrete provides isotropic properties not common to conventionally reinforced concrete. Fiber reinforced concrete has been tried on overlays of airfield, road pavement and industrial flooring, bridge decks, canal lining, explosive resistance structure, refractory lining, etc. The fiber reinforced concrete can also be used for the fabrication of precast products like pipes, boards, beam, staircase strip, wall panel, roof panel, manhole cover and many more structures. Fiber reinforced concrete, sometimes called fibrous concrete, is manufactured under the trade name wire concrete. After extensive research, the wire concrete used very extensively in United States. Fiber reinforced concrete is also being tried for the manufacture of prefabricated formwork mold of U-shape for casting, lintel and small beam as per its good qualities. Now after FRC we will go for the self-compacting concrete. So if self-compacting concrete will be considered, so by its name we can understand the concrete having ability to compact by itself only. So making concrete structure without vibration have been done in the past. For examples, placement of concrete underwater is done by the use of tremie without vibration. Mass concrete and shaft concrete can be successfully placed without vibration. But the above example of concrete are generally of lower strength and difficult to obtain consistent quality. Modern application of self-compacting concrete, which is shortly called as SCC, is focused on high performance, better and more reliable uniform quality. Recognizing the lack of uniformity and complete compaction of concrete by vibration, researchers at the University of Tokyo, Japan, started in the late 1980s to develop self-compacting concrete. By the early 1990s, Japan has developed and used SCC that does not require vibration to achieve full compaction. By the year 2000, the SCC has become popular in Japan for prefabricated product and ready-mix concrete. Several European countries recognize the significance and potentials of SCC developed in Japan too. Self-compacting concrete has been described as the most revolutionary development in concrete construction for several decades. In this field, day by day, new concrete are coming, but there is a trend for SCC too, as per its advantageous property. Originally developed in Japan to offset a growing shortage of skilled labor, it has proved to be beneficial from the following points. So, what are these points? Faster construction, reduction in site manpower, better surface finish, easier placing, improved durability, greater freedom in design, thinner concrete sections, reduced noise level, and safer working environment. Now, which are the material for SCC? So, no doubt concrete is there, so cement, aggregate, water, everything is required. But if we'll go technically for the material for SCC, then it will consider cement, then ordinary Portland cement 43 or 53 grade can be used to produce SCC. Aggregates, the maximum size of aggregate is generally limited to 20 mm. Aggregate of size 10 to 12 mm is desirable for structures having congested reinforcement. Wherever possible, size of aggregate higher than 20 mm could also be used. Well graded, cubical or rounded aggregate are desirable to make SCC. Aggregates should be uniform quality with respect to shape and grading. It is desirable to produce SCC concrete. Fine aggregates can be natural or manufactured. The grading must be uniform throughout the work. The moisture content or absorption characteristic must be closely monitored as the quality of SCC will be sensitive to such changes. Now mixing water concern, then water quality must be established on the same line as that for using reinforced concrete or pre-stressed concrete. Now, if we'll talk about the chemical admixtures, then superplasticizers are an essential component of SCC to provide necessary workability, and it is very important in any concrete. The new generation superplasticizers termed polycarboxylated ether PCE is particularly useful to produce SCC. Other types may be incorporated as necessary, such as viscosity modifying agents, which is called as VMA for stability, air antoning agents like AEA to improve freeze thaw resistance, and retardants for controlling the setting. Fly ash is also used. Fly ash in appropriate quantity may be added to improve the quality and durability of SCC. Then ground granulated blast furnace slag, which is called as GGBFS. So GGBFS, which is both cementitious and pozzolanic material, may be added to improve rheological properties of concrete. Silica fume may be added to improve the mechanical properties of SCC. Stone powder, in that finely crushed limestone, dolomite or granite may be added to increase the powder content. The fraction should be less than 125 micron. Now fibers are concerned, then fibers may be used to enhance the properties of SCC in the same way as for normal concrete. Now there are few examples of SCC mixes. So there are three ways in which SCC can be made. First one, powder type, second one, VMA type, and third one is combined type. If we will discuss about the powder type, then in powder type SCC is made by increasing the powder content. If we will talk about second type, then in VMA type it is made by using viscosity modifying agents. In combined type it is made by increasing powder content as well as using VMA too. The above three methods are made depending upon the structural conditions, constructional conditions, available material and restriction in concrete production plant, etc. Now, for typical SSA mixes, what are the ingredients? Okay, so if we'll talk about mineral admixture. Okay, so we discussed the powder type, VMA, and combined type. So in that, ingredient will be like that. If we will discuss about water, then it will be in kilogram per meter cube quantity. In powder type, it will be 175. In VMA type, it is 165, and in combined type, it is 175. So we can see their powder type and combined type, there is not much difference in water. Means it is same quantity. Okay, but in VMA type, it is reduced. If we'll talk about the cement quantity in kilogram per meter cube, then in powder type it will be 530, in VMA type it is at 220, and in combined type it will be 298. If we'll talk about the fly ash ingredient in SSA mix, then fly ash in kilogram per meter cube will be 70 in powder type. In VMA, fly ash will be 0, but in combined type it will be 206 kilogram per meter cube. If we'll talk about the GGBS in kilogram per meter cube, then in powder form it is 0. In VMA type it will be 220 kilogram per meter cube, but in combined type it will be 0. Same like silica fume in kilogram per meter cube will be concerned, then powder type it is 0, in VMA type is 0, and in combined type is 0. If we'll talk about fine aggregate and coarse aggregate in kilogram per meter cube, then in powder type it is 751 fine aggregate and coarse aggregate will be 789. But in VMA type, the fine aggregate will be 870 kilogram per meter cube and coarse aggregate will be 825 kilogram per meter cube. And in combined type SSA mix, fine aggregate will be 702 kilogram per meter cube and coarse aggregate will be 871 kilogram per meter cube. If we'll talk about high range water reducing admixture in kilogram per meter cube, then in powder type it will be 9, in VMA type it will be 4.4, and in combined type it is 10.6. Then VMA, viscosity modifying agent in kilogram per meter cube, in powder type 0, in VMA type definitely VMA type, so it will be there, so it is 4.1 kilogram per meter cube, and in combined type it is 0.0875. When we'll talk about slump flow test die of spread in mm in typical SSA mix, then it will be 625 in powder type, 600 in VMA type, and 660 in combined type. So from that table, for that all three type, you can see the ingredient quantity. So what is the requirement for SCC? So the main characteristic of SCC are the properties in the fresh state. The mix design is focused on the ability to flow under its own weight without vibration, the ability to flow through heavily congested reinforcement under its own weight, and the ability to retain homogeneity without segregation. It is its plus point. The workability of SCC is higher than very high degree of workability mentioned in Indian Standard 456-2000. A concrete mix can only be classified as self-compacting if it has the different characteristics like filling ability, passing ability, and segregation resistance. So requirement for SCC we will discuss. So as per that, several test methods have been developed in attempts to characterize the properties of SCC. So far, no single method or combination of method has achieved universal approval to include in national or international organization. But as per that, we can say to find some properties, some test method we have to perform. So to find out filling ability, it is a one type of property in SCC. So for filling ability, slump flow by Abrams cone we have to perform. Filling ability can also check by T20, T50 semi slump flow. Passing ability can be checked by Schering, by V funnel. Filling ability can be checked by V funnel. V funnel at a T5 minute segregation resistance property can be measured. L box, then U box, then fill box. From that test method, passing ability can be checked. GTM screen stability test for segregation resistance and ORIMET method for filling ability. Now, workability requirement for the fresh SCC. The typical acceptance criteria for SCC are mentioned in this table. So, serial numbers are there, different methods are there, unit is given and typical ranges of value from minimum to maximum. So, for the method, slump flow by Abrams cone, unit in mm and typical ranges value minimum is 650 and maximum 800. For T 50 cm slump flow, unit is second, minimum value is 2 and maximum is 5. J ring is in mm, the typical value is 0 and maximum value is 10. In V funnel, the unit is second, the minimum value is 8 and maximum value is 12. If we'll talk about V funnel at T5 minute in second, then minimum value is 0 and maximum is plus 3. If we'll talk about L box, then unit will be H2 upon H1, minimum value is 0.8 and maximum value is 1.0. For U box, H2 minus H1 mm. So minimum value is 0 and maximum value is 30. For fill box and for GTM screen stability test, the unit is in percentage and minimum value is 90 in fill box, and for GTM screen stability test it is 0, and in fill box maximum value 100 and in GTM screen stability test maximum value is 15. When we considered ORIMET method, the unit will be in second, minimum value is 0 and maximum value is 5. So we also have to discuss about initial mix composition. So in the design of mix, the relative proportions of the key component may be considered by volume rather than by mass. Water by powder ratio by volume is to be 0.80 to 1. Total powder content to be 160 to 240 liters, or you can say 400 to 600 kg per meter cube. The sand content may be more than 38% of the mortar volume. Coarse aggregate content should be normally 28 to 35% by volume of the mix. Water cement ratio is selected based on strength. In any case, water content should not exceed 200 liters per meter cube. If it exceeds, then SCC will be failed. Now, placing is also very important factor to produce SCC. Formwork must be in good condition to prevent leakage. Though it is easier to place SCC than ordinary concrete, the following rules are to be followed to minimize the risk of segregation. Limit of vertical free fall distance to 5 meter. Limit the height of core lift layers to 500 mm. Limit of permissible distance of horizontal flow from point of discharge to 10 meter. What is the Indian scenario of self-compacting concrete? So in India, during the last few years, attempts were made in the laboratories and in the field to develop and use SCC. However, large-scale use have been rare. Some pioneering efforts have been made in Delhi Metro project in association with L&T and MBT. Nuclear Power Corporation, Gammon India, Hindustan Construction Company have made large-scale laboratory trial and on-the-ground mode-up trials. Laboratory studies conducted at ACRC Chennai, Indian Institute of Technology at Madras, Roorkee and other places have given enough inputs and confidence to adopt SCC in India. Now, there is a main point. How economical is SCC? if it's having good advantage and we have to put in practice, so we have to also go for the economical point of view. So there is a feeling that cost of SCC is much higher than that of the corresponding normal strength or high strength concrete. It is seen that the cost of material of SCC is about 10 to 15% higher. If one takes the other component of cost such as cost of compaction, finishing, etc., then one would realize that SCC is certainly not a costly concrete for comparable strength. Now we will discuss about the advantage for contractor, then rapid pumping of concrete, uniform and compact surface, reduced vibration, effort and noise during placing, ability to fill complex form with limited accessibility, more uniform distribution in area of closely bunched reinforcement, less surface void and need for rubbing and patching, improved aesthetic of flat work for less effort, reduced labor and construction time. Based on all advantage, contractor can use that SCC. Now advantages for ready mix concrete producers. So better perception from customers by offering a technically advanced higher value concrete mixture, faster truck turnaround, offer a product that saves customers time and money, more efficient use of mixing equipment and delivery, easily expand variety of product offered without adding more equipment, improved aesthetic of final product. Then, advantage for cast in place fabricators. So, in all of the above, plus controlled environment allows easier quality concrete, easier to achieve qualities of an optimally designed mix, can better guarantee properties due to tight quality control. Faster slump loss means concrete is ready for steam curing quicker. Now, if we'll talk about disadvantage, then people don't have understanding of the limit of flow distance of the concrete in order to avoid segregation of coarse aggregate. Higher rates of casting with SCC could compound the problem of excess from war pressure. Okay, so whatever we discussed in SCC and FRC under the special concrete part, so based on that you are able to give answer for FRC means a fiber reinforced concrete and SCC means self compacting concrete. So under special concrete we have covered that both important concrete. I will come with another special type of concrete in my next lecture. Till that, stay safe, take care, study well, and all the very best.